I spent years helping everyone with their emergencies, surgeries, debts, and accidents. I thought that's what family meant. Last month, they called me useless, selfish, and toxic, right before begging me for money again. I changed one word, no. I didn't realize one syllable could destroy everything. Thanksgiving dinner was supposed to be ordinary. The smell of roasted turkey filled the house, the gravy was bubbling on the stove, and everyone was pretending to like each other for one evening, like they always did. Then my sister Natalie rose from her seat like she had practiced it in the mirror. She tapped her spoon against her wine glass, all theatrical, wearing that smug smile she's had since she was old enough to weaponize it. Before we start carving the turkey, she announced, we have something to say. The noise around the table died instantly. Forks stopped midair. Even the baby squeaked and went silent. My stomach tightened the way it used to when she'd get me punished as a teenager for things I never even did. We took a vote, she said, glancing around like she was accepting an award. And we've decided, you're not family anymore. For a second, I thought nobody really heard her. Then, cheering. Not awkward clapping. Not confused laughter. Actual cheering. My cousin Laura clapped like she just won front row tickets. Uncle Mitch raised his glass in a toast. And my mother, my own mother, laughed and said, well, someone finally had the guts to say it. The stuffing on my plate was still warm, but my chest felt like it was full of ice. My father didn't even look at me when he muttered, it's probably for the best, before taking another sip of beer. I stared around the table, letting the silence drag just long enough to make someone squirm. No one did. Wow, I said quietly, sliding my chair back. You guys actually practiced this. Natalie smirked even wider, as if her face would split. You've been toxic for years, she declared. You're not family, my mother said casually, spooning cranberry sauce like she was talking about the weather. It's unanimous. I looked at them, one by one. No one defended me. Not a single person hesitated. Good, I said. Then I reached into my bag and pulled out a thick folder. I dropped it in the center of the table. Thud. The sound cut straight through the laughter. Natalie frowned. What is that? I leaned back, folded my arms, and smiled. Why don't you open it and find out? She yanked it open with that evil little grin she always had when she thought she'd already won. She looked at the first page, and the grin dissolved. Her face turned ghost white. She flipped the next page, and the next, faster and faster, until she screamed. Not a gasp, not a shriek. A horror movie scream. Her chair toppled over as she jumped to her feet, slamming the folder shut like it was burning her. You monster, she yelled. You sick freak. What is wrong with you? The table gasped. Joel, her husband, grabbed the folder from her shaking hands. He opened it, and his jaw dropped. He looked at me, voice barely audible. Is this real? I nodded once. Every word. Every receipt. Every screenshot. The room went so quiet, I could hear the silverware rattling in the kitchen sink. My mom's mouth opened and closed like she forgot how to speak. You all really thought I wouldn't fight back, I said, standing slowly. You thought I'd stay quiet, stay useful, and keep paying. I leaned toward Natalie, meeting her frozen stare. Your little show? It's over. You want to know what was inside that folder? I'll tell you. But first, you need to understand how we got here. Stories like this don't start with a vote at the Thanksgiving table. They start years earlier, brick by brick, insult by insult, guilt trip after guilt trip. You don't get erased from a family overnight. They spend years slowly erasing you first. And that's exactly what they did to me, completely, my mother whispered, eyes wide, as if I had just announced something impossible. I slid my arms into my coat and gave her one last look. Starting now. Tears finally began streaking down her face. You can't mean that. We made mistakes, but we're still your family. My voice didn't rise. It didn't crack. It landed like a closing book. No, you're not. Then I walked toward the door, leaving them with cold food, colder truths, and their carefully rehearsed humiliation turned inside out. I didn't slam the door. I just let it shut behind me, gentle and final. The night air hit my face like a shock of freedom, and somewhere inside me, something unclenched. For the first time in years, I could breathe. Silence. I didn't drive home immediately. Instead, I found myself parked near the lake Dad used to take me to when I was a kid, where we fished and argued about nothing important. I sat on the hood of my car, staring at the still, dark water. No one asking for a loan. No one hinting that I owed them. No one acting like love was a tab I had to pay forever. Just me. The cold air. And quiet. The next day? Nothing. The day after that? Still nothing. On day 3, the messages started. The begging begins. My mom, first. Missed calls, then a voicemail. You really mean it? We were angry, but we're still your family. I didn't reply. Then Natalie, sharp as always. You don't even understand what you've done. Joel's filing for divorce. Is that what you wanted? Are you proud? You're sick. A few hours later, Dad sent his version of guilt. Things got heated. Doesn't mean you go nuclear. Your mother is a wreck. Come fix this. I left them all on read. I expected guilt to gnaw at me. Maybe anxiety. Maybe regret. But that night, I slept like someone had lifted a boulder off my chest. No more wondering when the next request would come. No more pretending not to notice the manipulation. Just stillness. Building a life for myself. I started waking up early. Running in the mornings. Brewing coffee slowly instead of gulping it down between crisis calls. I scheduled appointments I'd ignored for years. Dentist. Doctor. Even found a therapist, not because I was broken, but because I finally had time to take care of myself. I rewrote my emergency contacts. Removed both parents. Changed passwords. Closed every shared account. Blocked Natalie everywhere. It wasn't revenge. It was hygiene. Emotional hygiene. Unexpected messages. A week after Thanksgiving, I got a text from Laura, the cousin who clapped the loudest during my family vote. I didn't know you paid for my tuition. I'm sorry. I followed the crowd. You were the only one who ever helped. I didn't respond, but I read it twice. Then Joel messaged me. I filed for divorce. Everything checked out. She lied about everything. Not just to you. To me. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. You did the right thing. I stared at that one longer than I expected. It felt surreal, but real. Suddenly, I wasn't a villain in someone else's script. I was a person they couldn't use anymore. I updated my resume, applied for a job in another city. Not running away, finally choosing my own direction. And something wild happened. I reconnected with old friends. People I had ghosted for years because I was always too busy putting out family fires. Some of them had seen my anonymous post online and reached out. "We're proud of you." That took guts. No one asked for a dime. No one played victim. Just support. Real, uncomplicated support. Someone asked me, "Do you regret it?" I thought for a moment before answering. I only regret not doing it sooner. The holiday attempts. December 22nd, a text from Mom. A photo, their living room, tree half decorated, stockings hung, piles of presents missing from the usual spot. Caption. "It doesn't feel the same without you. Ellie keeps asking why Uncle isn't coming." I stared at it. A manipulation disguised as nostalgia. No apology. No accountability. Just, "Look what you're doing to us." No reply. December 23rd, Natalie called. I let it go to voicemail. Then a text. "I know I messed up. You don't have to punish everyone. Come see Ellie. She misses you." 2 minutes later. "Also Mom and Dad are behind on their mortgage. I just thought you'd want to know." There it was. The real point. Block. December 24th, Dad. "You made your point. We get it. But enough. We need help. We're still your blood." That night, I sat by the fireplace in my quiet apartment. No tree. No noise. Just peace. And I realized something. Silence wasn't emptiness anymore. It was freedom. They weren't done yet. January. An unknown number. "Is this Daniel?" a man asked. "Yes. This is Mark, calling on behalf of your father. We're discussing the family trust. He said you're the primary. I revoked that 2 months ago. It's finalized." A pause. Then, I see, they're in a difficult situation. I hung up. And February brought the final attempt. A letter in my mother's handwriting. Page 1, regret. Page 2, guilt. Page 3, a request. They were selling the house, underwater on the mortgage. They just needed help one last time. Do it for your father. Do it for the family. I folded the letter slowly and dropped it into the trash. They didn't want reconciliation. They wanted access. Access to my money. Access to my time. Access to my silence. But that version of me, the one who financed their irresponsibility like it was a subscription service, he's gone. A new life. I moved. New city. New job. Bigger apartment. Clean slate. I started volunteering, not because someone demanded it, but because I had room in my life for kindness again. Number 11 p.m. guilt trip calls. No desperate requests masked as emergencies. No family who treated love like a bill I owed. I don't regret helping them. I regret how long I let them treat help as obligation. You want to know what real peace feels like? It's not being surrounded by people who share your last name. It's being free from people who only remember your value when they need something from you. I didn't expect any of this to get attention. Honestly, when I wrote my first post, it wasn't for advice or validation. I just needed to put the truth somewhere that wasn't inside my head anymore. But I read every comment. And the ones that said, "You were brave." The ones that said, "They don't deserve you." The ones that said, "You finally chose yourself." Thank you. I didn't realize how badly I needed to hear that until strangers said it. Until people who didn't know me anything could see me clearer than the people who shared my last name. A few asked the same question, though, the one I kept asking myself for years. But what if they change? It's been months now. Time to answer that. They didn't. Not after the folder. Not after the screaming, the silence, the lawyer calls, the guilt letters. Not after being confronted with the truth they built brick by brick. They didn't change. They just rotated through phases. Quiet, strategic, desperate, ugly again. But me? I changed. I moved into a place that actually feels like mine. I got a job that doesn't drain the life out of me. I started real therapy, the kind where you stop trying to rescue other people and finally learn how to sit with yourself. I cook because I want to eat well. I sleep because my mind is quiet. I walk outside without checking my phone every 5 seconds, waiting for the next crisis I'm expected to fix. And no, I don't miss the chaos disguised as love. Sometimes, I think about Ellie. I wonder what she's learning from all this, what it means to her when adults call someone family only when they want something. I worry she'll grow up thinking that's normal. But I also know this. One day, she'll remember that someone finally said no. A few days ago, I got one more letter, handwritten, my mother's looping cursive across the envelope. No return address again. Inside, 3 words. We're still family. No apology. No accountability. Just the same old fishing hook they've always used. For the first time, I didn't feel anything. Not anger, not sadness, not relief. Just, nothing. I folded the letter once, dropped it in the trash, and went on with making dinner. Pasta, garlic, olive oil. Simple. Quiet. Mine. So I'm back here, to the one place that made things clearer without even trying. And I have a question, not because I don't know the answer, but because I want to hear it out loud. Did I do the right thing? Cutting them off. Dropping the weight. Letting the house finally fall instead of holding it together alone. Saying no, and actually meaning it. Was I cold? Or was I just done being the only one calling it love? I don't know everything. But I do know this. For the first time in my life, I'm not surviving anymore. I'm living. And to everyone who listened, thank you. You helped me remember who I was before they taught me who they needed me to be. I'm still here. Still standing. And finally, free.